Voters will head to the polls in less than a week for recall primary elections for the 32nd District Senate seat. Here to talk about it is political professor Joe Heim. Joe, thanks for being with us today.
Thanks.
This primary election is a little bit strange. It's a little different because of the candidates that are running it.
Elections in the summer are strange, and this is even stranger because of the circumstances of a recall series and the fact that we have what I call stealth candidates running in each of the Democratic primaries.
Now, explain what James Smith is, what would be considered the stealth candidate. Explain that he's not a Democrat, but he's running in the Democratic primary.
He was a member of the executive board of La Crosse County Republicans, so clearly he's a Republican. But in Wisconsin, you can decide what race you want to run in. You don't have to have a card and prove that you're a Democrat or Republican. So he's protesting, basically. That's his message. He's protesting the fact that it's easy to have recalls. The fact is, it's not.
And one of the plans to do this is to delay the election another month, give the candidates time to run. The cost of this for the total area is going to be about $117,000 just for the primary, $55,000 in La Crosse County. Should cost matter when it comes to these?
I think it should. This is a wasted election. Everybody knows it's a phony election. The primary is. And just to cause that kind of money to be spent just for the idea that you could delay an election by a month, it seems silly to me. If you're interested in saving this government money, they should not be doing this sort of stuff.
Now, the reason the recall is happening in the first place is State Senator Dan Kapanke has been unpopular with a lot of voters because of the collective bargaining vote, and that prompted the recall. A lot of people are saying that the recall isn't necessary, that it's too easy to recall lawmakers. Do you agree with that?
I think we have some pretty difficult barriers. You have to gather between 15 to 20,000 signatures. That is not easy. You have to have hundreds of volunteers to do that kind of thing. You only have, I think, 60 days to do it. Secondarily, you have to have a certain, the 15 to 20,000 by itself is difficult. But essentially, we've had, if I remember right, we've had 4 recalls in Wisconsin's history. So it tells you we don't do this very often, and it has to require a lot of intense people willing to get out and do the work. But I frankly think it's difficult to do it. It's very difficult.
Now, getting people out to vote is one thing. What are Jennifer Schilling's chances of getting through her own primary, and then what are her chances of beating Dan Kapanke?
It should be pretty good, although, frankly, if the Republicans can get their voters out for this next Tuesday and vote for the weaker of the 2 candidates, James Smith in this case, it's possible that he could actually win the primary election. But the reality is it's most likely not going to occur. I think a lot of the regular voters, people that vote in all elections, are going to vote for her because she's perceived as a well-known person, frankly.
Yeah, and she's been a popular lawmaker in the Assembly. What are her chances of beating Dan Kapanke?
Right now, it looks pretty good. There are six Republicans being challenged by Democrats in this. Let's see, the actual election is going to be August 9th. And those particular races, 2 or 3 of them look like they're doable for the Democrats to win. The other 3 are kind of pretty iffy. If you look at the dollar amounts, by the way, the Republicans have gathered huge amounts of money basically to win these elections. So it's going to be very contestable, very difficult to win these kind of elections.
What's the impact, the control of the state Senate's on the line?
That's one of the things. If you look at what's at stake here, the Democrats, they don't talk a lot about this, but they really would like to take back the state Senate. They need a net of 3. Which means they don't want to lose any Democrats. There's 3 Democrats that are up for recall, too. They don't want to lose any of those, and they want to pick up 3 of the Republican seats. Then they would take over the Senate. By doing this, they could block the Walker agenda and essentially force compromise in government, basically. There's a second element to this, and one is that they essentially that they would like to send a message, don't do this again. And if this happens, by the way, whatever happens in Wisconsin is going to be national news.
All right, we're out of time, but Joe, thanks for the knowledge.
Thank you
so much.